gonna get into the spirit of Cinco de Mayo and
Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo.
It's not dough, it's day.
You said dough.
Oops. All right, let's start over.
Footage to prove it.
Let's start over.
We're joking around. It's fine.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Chefing with Chefry. My name is Jeff.
My name is Jeff.
Thank you, I was waiting for it. Alright, so today we're going to get into the spirit of Cinco de Mayo. So let's just come along for the ride, see what happens. So what we got today is we're going to make a shredded chicken fajita taco. So of course we got boneless, skinless chicken breasts. We got enough for one chicken breast for each of us, since there's 3 of us. Then I'm going to make a salsa verde, and that'll consist of tomatillos, an onion, some peppers, jalapeno, garlic, some cilantro, but we're gonna take these veggies and we're gonna blast them in the oven at like 500 degrees to get them blistered and bring out the flavor. Go up to about 500 degrees or as high as your oven will go. Don't burn down the house. I'm gonna do 500 degrees. Hopefully nothing smokes, we'll find out together. And then after that, we're gonna use, usually I typically just use poblano peppers for my fajitas, but the store only had one today, so it's kind of sad. But we're gonna use poblano and red peppers and a green pepper for the fajitas, and of course the chicken and onion. We got some seasonings here, and we're gonna finish it off with the store-bought cheese dip. Don't hate, appreciate. Okay. All right, so I guess let's get started. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna start with is I'm gonna season these chicken breasts up pretty good. I'm gonna toss them into this bowl with some taco seasoning, some fajita seasoning, adobo, and some of this wonderful stuff. Sazonador, I guess that's how you say it. Don't need that anymore. And then I'm gonna keep my chicken hand off to the side so I don't have to wash my hands constantly. But I'm gonna add just a little bit of everything so I can just absorb the seasoning pretty well. Can't go wrong with adobo, ever. Bet you a lot of people will agree with me. The first time I made this meal was during Super Bowl, just because I wanted something handheld, yummy, that we can all just nibble on, and I did a bunch and put it into a 3 crock pot you put on a buffet or something. My sister Jessica bought me many years ago for Christmas, and it was a great Christmas present. I still use it, just not as much as I should, unfortunately. So we're gonna let this sit for a little bit and absorb the flavor. I'm gonna wash my hands. Just gotta be very careful, always wash your hands, make sure you don't contaminate anything. Forgot I'm gonna add a little bit of lime juice. So next what I'm gonna do is get my stuff together for my salsa verde and come over to the cutting board so we can get this ship on the road. First, wow.
Ship in the sea.
Ship in the sea. All right. With the tomatillos, you gotta peel off this outer skin or leaf. And then sometimes they're a little sticky, you might wanna give them a little rinse. Always wash your produce, especially now. And as I was going to the store and buying this today, they have directional arrows in the stores, and it seems really hard for people to follow those. It's just driving me crazy. I just wanted to say a thank you also for everybody who's watched my first video on my family's favorite beef stew. I can feel the love already, and it means a lot. Always check your produce. There's something that's maybe living in there. I'm gonna throw that away. What a shame. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna wash these off. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna dry them off as well, because you want the heat to blister them, not for them to steam. All right, so I'm gonna throw these directly into here, because you can leave these whole. Then I'm gonna take my onion. You can cut this however you want, because it's gonna get roasted and buzzed in the blender, so it doesn't really matter too much. So I'm just gonna do a really rough cut on this. It doesn't matter what it looks like. Put that into the same bowl. Then I take my pepper, cut the top off, and then the bottom off. I'm gonna cut down the side like this, and then you can open it up and get all the seeds out, just like that. Super easy. And then I take my knife like this and I go across the pepper just like this to get all of the membrane and stem out. And of course throw away your stem. If there's any weird parts, you can cut that out. Those weird parts are weird. And then also with this, you can just kind of cut this up in a weird way as well. So now we'll get my jalapeno and my garlic. So with the jalapeno, be careful because it's spicy, obviously. But I'm gonna basically go about this the same way. I'm gonna get seeds out for the most part, but I want it to be a little bit spicy. So I'm gonna leave the membrane in, but I'm gonna take the seeds out. The seeds aren't very tasty. And then the garlic, you're just gonna open it up, doesn't matter what it looks like. Hit it like you mean it. There you can see all of the beautiful components for the salsa verde. And I'm gonna put in some vegetable oil. I'm gonna get some salt and pepper. Season them up quite a bit. And what I'm gonna do is toss them all together, get them all coated in the oil, like that. And then I'm gonna take my pan. I'm going to put them on a pan. And then once the oven's finished preheating, we can throw it in the oven, but it's not done preheating yet. I wanna make sure it's nice and hot, so everything gets a nice char and blister. Do not burn it. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get our pan nice and hot. So then you'll just, like last video, you're just gonna do enough to coat the bottom of the pan. So the chicken has something to cook in. We'll give it a nice good sear on the outside. Make sure you get it all on the sides. A little sticky, buddy. And while that's heating up, I can go ahead and start prepping the veggies for the fajitas. Alright, so now the oven's preheated to 500 degrees, so I'm going to throw these in the oven. It's beautiful, beautiful veggies. And then just make sure you keep a close eye on that because they can go from awesome to not awesome really fast. Keep your oven light on so you can keep peeking in it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the veggies for the fajitas. Now with the onions this time. So I just wanted to reiterate, or I don't know if I ever said it on the first one, but always keep your work area clear so you don't have a big mess and you're fumbling around. Everything. So what you're gonna do is a julienne cut again. So like this, here. Super easy. Boom, onions are ready. I'm gonna throw the chicken in. I have to turn the vent on unfortunately because the pan's nice and hot and the smoke detectors will go off. But you wanna hear that good sizzle. You want to use the right utensil for the right thing. So with this, I'm going to use tongs, but with my fajitas, I might use a mixture of this and the spoon. Probably going to season them a little bit more because you want your chicken to be super flavorful. Kind of want to keep the chicken on a good medium-high heat just so they can really get a good flavor on the outside. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut up my peppers. But this time I'm going to do it a little differently since I want to present these in a fajita. So you're going to want to julienne these as well, just like the onions. Now working in a kitchen for a while, you can pick up speed on everything and feel more confident in what you're doing. But don't feel overwhelmed. Stuff is super easy. I personally like to use the tops and the bottoms because I don't want to waste it. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out the membrane again. Just like that. And then I'm going to take my peppers. I'm going to cut them in half like this, and then I'm going to stack on top. Make sure the flesh side is up and not the skin side up. It's harder to cut through that than it is the flesh. So if you do this, it's a lot easier, and you just want to do the rocking motion. Do it just like this. That way it makes its way through the skin. These pretty fajitas. Just keep your fingers out of the way of the blade. Use the claw. And I flipped the chicken while we were doing some other stuff. You want to have a nice char, flip it over. And let it do the same thing on that side. Now I'm going to come back to my peppers, finish julienning these all up. And then with the tops and the bottoms, I put the bottom on the top because it holds it better. And by stacking it like this, you're saving yourself some prep time so you can get the meal done quicker, which I know makes a big difference for some people. And then these ones are just falling apart, so I'm just gonna wing it. And then the poblano, pour some poblano. This you're gonna get the inside out too. Sometimes poblanos are hotter, sometimes they're not. It all depends on the pepper, so there's no way to tell from what I know if it's gonna be super hot or not. But we love them, so they're going in. These I like to turn them this way because that would be too big. So I'm gonna go this way. This way it's more of a consistent size. And I did it skin side up. You could hear it that it was harder to cut. Now I'm gonna do this one skin side down and it's easier. Alright, so all my veggies are cut. We got the onions and we got the peppers. Keep an eye on your chicken and eye on your veggies. That's looking good. These are looking good as well. I'm gonna turn them down just a smidge. They're starting to really char. That's where the flavor comes from. Just don't overdo it. Then the garlic. Oh, I completely missed. There we go. So then I'm gonna grab my garlic press again because it's so wonderful. I'll just give it a good push and rock it back and forth. And then we have fresh garlic. It's a good char on that side now as well. That looks really yummy. So a chicken, you always want to cook it to 165 degrees. It's very important. It kills all of the bad stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and take my thermometer, stick it in the thickest part. And just for reference, you'll see it's been in for a little bit now, but it's only at 110 degrees. So we're going to let it keep rolling. Don't forget to clean your thermometer. Because if you don't, you're just putting the germs into cooked chicken and that's not good. So you just missed it. The smoke detectors just went off. But, you know, it happens. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the cilantro up for the garnish for the tacos. I'm going to save a nice few pretty pieces for garnish later. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to find where the leaves really stop and I'm going to twist it off like that. First I like to bunch them up like this. Then what you're going to want to hear is kind of like a scissor noise when this is cutting. Because that way you're not bruising it, you're actually cutting through it. And you can hear it here. It means you're really getting a good cut. And then you can just take your hand like this, hold it flat, go up and down just like this. Wipe your blade off, be careful not to touch the blade itself. And now we have some cut up cilantro for our tacos.
Chopping the tacos.
And then I'm going to go ahead and cut my limes in half. I'm going to use the juice and put it in the salsa verde. Just cut off the ends like that. You don't have to necessarily do that. But if you want to make it look pretty for squeezing onto your tacos, you can do that and then cut it in half like that. And then go just like this. And that way you have limes you can squeeze into the tacos or on top of the tacos. But then with these, I'm going to squeeze them directly into the salsa verde and such. So I'm going to roll it on the table like this. Supposedly this brings the juice to the top. Just cut it in half. Ended up putting a lid on the chicken. Make sure it gets under the vent. That way it can cook better. And you can see the flavor really getting good onto that now. So I'm going to put the lid back on for a little bit. Now let's check these veggies. You can see the color and they're blistering up real good. This is what made the detectors go off. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off and let them sit in there for a few more minutes. So now what I can do is I can, see? Told you. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take the veggies out. Hopefully we don't make the detectors go off again. But if we do, I'll go run and turn them off. But that's that. You got a nice cook. The onions are soft. You can see the blisters on the tomatillos. Some blistering on the peppers, and then there's a slight char on some of the other veggies, which is great stuff. So now what we can go ahead and do is either let it cool down a minute, and there's the beautiful salsa verde veggies. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them, I'm going to throw them right into the blender. You can see all the juices in there. Oh man.
Oh.
So graceful.
Raining roasted veggies.
And now with this, you're going to want to try and put everything in as soon as you can, because you don't want to completely pulverize everything. If you do, it's just going to be super loose. I like chunky salsas. I was about to say sausage for some reason. It's awkward. Now I'm going to get some lime juice, squeeze that in, put it in there and squeeze on the fork. And it's going to help the juice come out a little bit. Yeah, that's a good one. So I got some lime juice in there. And now I'm gonna throw in the cilantro. Make sure you take off the, that thing. With this, you can throw in all the stems. We love cilantro, so I'm gonna put the whole bunch in there. Put your lid on, and then you're gonna wanna power, and then you're gonna pulse it. Go ahead and look at it real fast. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper to it. And then I'm gonna give everything a good push down in there so I can get the rest of the cilantro. Put the lid back on and pulse it a little bit more. And then you can look in there and see how pretty that looks. I'm gonna get my...
I can't see it.
So now I'm just gonna take my salsa verde and I'm gonna pour it into here. Look at that. That's perfect. That's a lot of salsa. So I'm actually gonna give it a try for you real quick just to make sure I still got it. Let's do a little bit. Very cilantro-y. Just enough lime juice and it's seasoned pretty well. It's got a little spice to it. It's really good. Now we saved some cilantro, so I'm gonna make a cute little, this way you can wow your friends and family. So there's that. There's your salsa verde. You can eat it now, you can cool it down. That's really good. Now I'm gonna check the chicken again. See what temp it's at. Now we're getting somewhere. 160, 172. Want to make sure they're all done because they can cook differently. That's 176, so it's a little overcooked, but it's not gonna hurt anybody. Now I'm gonna take the chicken out, bring them over to the cutting board, and take a good look at that deliciousness. Let them rest for a minute, and then you're gonna save all of this good oil and fat from the chicken. Put that back on the stove. That's what you're gonna cook your veggies in. So I'm gonna throw in my peppers first because they take a little bit longer than the onions. They will cook down, turn it back up. Man, turn it back up real good. Now I'm gonna clean my mess up from the chicken a little bit here. I remember talking with some people at work and they were really talking about how they wanted fajitas, and that made me want to do this again. Plus Cinco De Mayo is coming up, so it kind of just worked out perfectly there. But then with shredding the chicken, I like to use forks because then you can hold one end with one and then scrape with the other. So now what I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to put the fork in one side and then I'm just going to take the chicken and just shred it. See how juicy it is? Or typically you would slice it to make fajitas, but this is just an easier way for me that I like to do it, and it still tastes just as good. You can leave it into bigger pieces or you can really keep shredding it. It's completely up to you. Wish you could smell this. It smells so good. Now I'm going to take it and put it into a bowl. Or if you want to hold it, put it into one of the 3 crock pot containers. Take a look at that. You're mixing, make sure you hold the pan so it doesn't fly off, but make sure you also have something holding the handle because it gets really hot. This doesn't seem to be getting as hot as I want, even though it's on high, but that's the problem with coil stoves, is they don't get super hot. So now you can see the peppers have cooked pretty well. Now I'm going to add my onions in. Make sure those start to get really cooked up real nice. Oops. Pan's a little small, but it gets the job done. Got to be careful. Turn it back up some. I'm going to season it a smidge again. I'm going to use the taco seasoning and the fajita seasoning to make sure that flavor is incorporated throughout. Flavor your layers. And a little adobo. As you can see the nice color that it pulled up from the chicken I cooked earlier, and from the peppers cooking themselves. I like a little texture left, so I'm not gonna cook them a whole bunch. Texture is your friend, unless you like mush. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add the garlic since these aren't cooking so hard. Go ahead and add that in. That wasn't a whole bunch, just enough for it to be there. Gonna let those roll for a minute. Should I talk about anything? So, basically, I just wanted to tell you, why would I say basically? I'm going to tell you about roundabout how much this costs. It's all really going to depend on where you shop and what state you live in. But here it cost me about $35 to get all of that produce and the chicken and everything like that. I don't think what else to say. As you're cooking, you can also take pictures of yourself cooking and also use the hashtag #ChefandWithChefry on Instagram. Do you want a beer, camera lady?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get Dos Equis. Don't look in the fridge. Let's see if these are twist tops. And they're not. So, I'm always handy, and I have one on my key ring. And also, I'm gonna show you something real quick to give you something cool. I've had this on my key ring ever since I graduated high school, class of 2010. It's been 10 years. As you can see, oh wait, you're just going to see that. As you can see, the veggies are starting to get their nice color. I turned it down a little bit, but yeah, I'm going to say this to you. Cheers, buddy. Cheers.
Cinco De Mayo, one like no other.
Yeah, stay safe out there. You know what I could do? I knew there was more purpose for these limes. I'm just going to squeeze a little bit of the juice in there. Make sure you wash it first. Drop it in there. Oops. There we go. Extra flavor, buddy. So this is the cheese dip I found I've really liked. It's about $5 or $6 depending on where you go. But, yeah. Basically you can just heat it up in the microwave and it tastes really good. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to squeeze in some lime juice to finish it off. This is the hard one. I'm going to use this one. There we go. These are about done to the doneness that we like them. We'll have a little bit of bite left. And the queso's ready. Don't hate. Alright, so now I'm going to build a couple tacos for you. So take some of this beautiful chicken meat here. Like this. Ooh, that was a lot. So I'll put that over here. Then I'm going to come over and grab some of my veggies that are still on the stove. Look at that. I'll take those, put those right on top. It'll be big boy tacos. Then I'm going to take the queso next so you can really see the salsa verde since this is store-bought. Put over the top. That. And I'm going to take some of the salsa verde here. Put it right over the top like that. Get a good squeeze of lime juice. And I'm going to put on some cilantro that I cut up earlier. And there you have it. You got yourself chicken fajita taco. And if you want to put shredded cheese on here, you can. It's totally up to you. I have some in the fridge, but I just wanted to make it look good for you. I'm gonna try one.
Hold on. We gotta take a flavor picture.
Yeah, let's do that real quick. Happy Cinco de Mayo, everybody. I hope you enjoy these tacos, like I will. Remember, find me on Instagram, chefin_with_chefry on Instagram, and use the hashtag #ChefandWithChefry. I'm gonna try one of these tacos now because I can't resist it no more. Here we go, buddy.
Over the sink, buddy.
Oh, I'm over the sink. It's gonna be a good bite.
Yeah.
That salsa verde. It makes a big difference. You can get a store-bought one, or you can make something like that and really impress people because it's just so good. It brings out the flavors of everything. Oops. That's why we're over the sink.
Close it out. I wanna eat. I wanna eat.
Thank you so much. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you for watching Chefing with Jeffrey. Out. Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Ouch.
Out.
Out.
Mm-hmm.
Out.
Bye-bye.